Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome to your weekly digital tea time. I am your host, Tori. I got that out smoothly. I am joined today with three of my friends and my favorite golf instructor, Justin Klemballa. Hi, yes. Justin.
Hi, Tori. So excited to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Director of Instruction at Paradise Valley Country Club and Forest Highlands Golf Club. And unfortunately, he's only there, so I can't get any lessons from you, but you are my favorite instructor.
Oh, I appreciate that, Tori.
And then the bright light and the most enthusiastic golfer I know, Tameka Hartman.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you so much for being here again today.
Thanks for having me.
And the superstar and founder of Babes Golf, Alex Andersen.
Hello.
Hi.
Royalty.
So a little behind the scenes for the listeners. This is my first time recording since I started the new podcast. And, you know, I'm a little nervous. And I thought to myself, I've been contemplating for the past couple of weeks, okay, who should I have on? For my first episode back, I wanted it to feel comfortable. I wanted to be with close friends. And I couldn't have asked for three better people to be with. Tameka came in last minute to save the day, and it's so perfect. I actually called Ashley yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, Tameka's coming. It all worked out so perfectly. So again, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. So we're going to dive right into it. So we are talking today about 5 things every beginner golfer should know. I wrote down 5 things. They wrote down 5 things, so it might turn into 5 things or 20 things. We don't know. We're just here enjoying the process. But I want to first check in with both Tameka and Alex. I want to see how your golf game's going. So, Tameka, fill us in. What's going on with your golf game right now?
A lot is going on. I am trying to get better, so I'm trying to practice. My new nemesis is a bunker. Building the confidence when I get in one that I can get out of it in one has been a challenge.
Now, is that just greenside bunkers or fairway bunkers too?
Greenside. Fairway bunkers, I go for it. Greenside, I'm a mess.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Justin, give us a tip.
So greenside bunkers. The funniest thing about the greenside bunkers, I basically make a living on the practice range. When we're out on the golf course, everybody tries to avoid the greenside bunkers as much as possible. When we're on the practice range, they also avoid them as much as possible.
Meaning no one's practicing
Nobody
them.
ever goes in a greenside bunker, including at a practice range. But here's a perfect opportunity for you to go in is at the practice range. And I was just doing a ladies clinic the other day at the course. And what we did is we just did a little drill, which is a fantastic drill, where you just draw a line in the sand and practice hitting the line and making sure that the divot is right in the middle of that line. If you're too far behind the line or too far in front of the line, then you can actually have that feedback. And it's actually almost better practice than actually hitting balls. And then once you feel like you're getting good at hitting the line, then you put the ball in front and then you hit it. But a lot of times, most people only go in greenside bunkers when they're out on the golf course. And because of that, there's a huge anxiety around it. And then when they do go to hit the ball, they end up either hitting the ball first and the ball flies over the green. And then because of that, they then swing too slow. So then when they swing really slow, they end up hitting the sand and then the ball stays in the bunker. So draw the line in the sand, hit that line, and then.
And when you say that line too, that when you're actually in a real-time situation, that line is almost an inch behind the ball.
Correct. So I used to draw 2 lines, but actually now I love the idea of just drawing 1 line. And then when you make your divot will be anywhere between, maybe 2 to 3 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
But the middle of the line.
Sorry, I have to laugh at you because this is on video, okay? And Justin is obviously a man, okay?
I noticed it too. I'm just saying.
He goes 2 to 3 inches. Okay, Justin.
I noticed it. I'm just saying.
Okay, 12 inches maybe. 12 inches is how long the divot should be, but the line should be in the middle. So yes, you're about 2 to 3 inches behind the ball with 2 to 3 inches in front. So I guess that's now more like 6 inches.
Yeah.
And my fingers have not changed.
You know what? We've made them blush. We've made them blush, Tameka.
Yeah, I love it.
I found the last round I was playing with, who was it? I think Alex, my sister, was in the group, and she was in the greenside bunker, or maybe it was, I think it was our buddy Rachel Harms. Did you guys meet Rachel in Densante Bay?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know Rachel.
I feel like I met so many women.
I know. It's crazy.
I saw the face.
I played golf with her on Sunday, and she was in a greenside bunker, and she was, I don't even know if she asked for a tip, but I said, pick your target. You got to commit in there. You got to commit in the bunker. Like, there's no halfway in a bunker.
Absolutely. Yeah. Most people swing with way too little of speed. So they don't have enough speed when they hit the shot. So when they do eventually hit the sand correctly, it's not enough speed for the ball to come out. And a lot of people really kind of idolize the idea of a very high bunker shot, but that mainly comes from loft, but also mainly speed. So you actually need a lot more speed than what most people are willing to put into a greenside bunker, because you're only going about 10 yards, but you need a speed as if you were on grass, you need the speed as if you were hitting like a 40 or 50 yard shot. Yeah. But then the sand slows it down.
Yeah.
I love what you said about the confidence and practicing it, because that was my issue. Like,
absolutely.
I got in on 2 on a par 5, and I'm like, yes. And I ended up with a 10. It was the most
brutal. I'm sorry.
painful.
Yeah.
Like, and
I'm feeling it for you.
the rest of the round, when I got into one, it was like, oh no.
Yep.
And I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And so I was determined to work on it so that when I did get in one, it was like, you got this. You know how to do this. You've practiced it.
Yes.
So yeah, the confidence thing is huge.
The practice adds to the confidence, but yeah, those detrimental experiences in the bunker tend to have a long imprint on our brain, and then tends to carry over to
future bunker play.
Bunker play and future play out on the golf course. And then another thing I think great players have the ability to do is that, and I took this quote from Butch Hartman, one of the best golf instructors of all time. He said, great players have short memories. So they're very willing to have a very bad experience, but then forget it very quickly. Because if you really hold on to that negative experience, it can kind of be detrimental to you long term.
It can affect you. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, okay. So we're struggling a little bit with the bunkers, but
I'm going to say was now.
Okay.
I was
Love
struggling,
it.
you know.
Love it.
yes.
I got it now.
Okay. So what are you most proud of from this past year, 2022, that in regards to your golf game?
Okay, so I had one goal for 2022, if you don't know, was to play in a real tournament and not come in last place. So when I say real, I mean not charity scramble, but like real. So I signed up for Desert Classic 2022. That was my goal. Then in January 25th, I got a hole-in-one.
Oh my God.
So I can't say that. I was like, oh, now what do I do, right? So I will say I did play in the Desert Classic, and it was a real tournament, and it was awesome, and that was my goal. But the hole-in-one, you can't not be proud of that.
Oh my gosh.
God.
No,
That was
it's
exciting.
so fun. And where was it? What hole? What was the yardage?
The whole deal. So it was at Seville Golf and Country Club.
Okay.
And it is a par 3, and it was playing at 94 yards that day, and I used a gap wedge. So.
Was that the one that goes over
Not
the water?
the water hole,
Oh,
no.
okay.
That's hole 17, so it's hole 3.
Okay.
4 on the course, so yeah.
That's a fun course.
And I hated that hole, by the way. Like, every time I walked up to it, I was like, ugh. And now when I walk up to it, sometimes I still think, ugh. But then I visualize the whole hole-in-one thing, and it changes it. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am so jealous. I have been playing for 26 years. I'm a PGA golf professional, and I have one hole-in-one. You've been playing for 5 years, and we're already tied with hole-in-ones.
I feel like it's a lot of luck, you know. Sometimes it's like it got close, and then I watched it roll in. So.
That's so cool.
That's even better when you can see it going.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right, Alex, what's going on with your golf game right now?
Well, I actually played yesterday, and I love the bunkers. I love them. And what's really cool is yesterday I had 2 shots out of the bunker that both hit the pin and almost went in. Neither one of them did. So I was like, okay, my chipping game and bunker game are on point right now. Everything else is not. So this year, my biggest goal was to lower my handicap.
And tell us what you started with.
Yeah, so I started when we did Desert Classic, I was at a 22, and now I'm at a 12.6.
Isn't that unreal?
Moly.
But I feel like I need since so I'm out in Arizona just part-time to get Babes Golf going out here. And I haven't golfed very much. I golfed like twice last month, 2 full 18s. And I feel like now I'm not living up to my 12.6. I feel like I'm more of an 18 right now.
It's hard.
Yeah. And I posted my score yesterday. It still says it's 12.6. I did shoot, I shot a 94. But there's a lot I need to work on. I definitely need to get out there and practice. That's a huge goal of mine is, put in the work, because I can tell, like, when you're out there, you're like, I'm better than this, but really, if you're not practicing it all the time, then you're not going to be as good as you were when you were playing every day. So yeah, I think the chipping game's good. I need to work on my putting, and I need to work on my driver. Everything's slicing.
Oh no.
I know.
Yeah.
And I video myself, and I know exactly what I'm doing wrong, but actually fixing it myself, I have no clue where to start.
What have you noticed when you look at your swing?
I'm coming down instead of like over the ball, instead of dropping my hands down and going inside. Yeah, inside.
Yeah. A lot of times when it comes to trying to get the ball to go straighter, people really are people either slice the ball too much, or they hook the golf ball too much, or they're blessed with hitting the ball straight all the time. So
and we don't talk to them.
We don't talk about those people. So a lot of times it's the ball curving right that's the issue, and a lot of times it's getting that path to come inside. But one of my mentors once said that the big key is fixing the face first. So a lot of times why the ball is always going to the right is because the face is too open. You know, on launch monitors, they have like a face to path number, which means that that's too much open. And then what we do to try to fix that is we come over the top to try to help close it. Yeah. So the big key is trying to get that face closed first. So a lot of times with my students, a lot of times if they are slicers, I won't even touch the path first. I'll actually just get them to either strengthen their grip a lot, which means like rotating your hands way to the right for a right-handed golfer, or just close the face like 45 degrees, just kind of like almost a ridiculous amount. Yeah. And then if you're still coming over the top, what you'll eventually start doing is you'll start hitting some really big pull hooks, which is actually a really good thing because at least the ball's curving left, but it's starting to the left. If you can hit like 5 to 6 of those right in a row, kind of big pull hooks to the left, then start working on trying to get the path to go out to the right, because then you at least know the closed face will get the ball to curve back to the left. So
yeah, how do you really work on, like, I feel like I have muscle memory of doing the same thing over and over again. So what are some like good drills you can do to really just like drop your hands down in that slot and get that muscle memory going? Yeah, that's a great question. So a great drill is just to put like an alignment rod in there, and hopefully if you have a pool noodle or something on there, it won't be as
abrupt if you hit
it. Exactly right. But you put a little pool noodle into it and kind of like on a 45 degree behind you so that you can swing underneath it. Although another drill that I've been talking about a lot lately, especially on Instagram, is called a pump drill. This is a podcast and I'm doing a lot of visual stuff here.
It's okay. We're actually on video, so you can see us on YouTube too.
So when you go up to the top of your swing, actually I'm just going to stand up.
Okay, I like it.
When you go up to the top of your swing, you go up and then you actually just pump down where you want the club to come down.
So that's like twice, your routine before.
Through. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So you would do it. You can actually do it hitting balls. This would be in practice. But you go up to the top, you pump down where you want the club to be, go up to the top again, pump down again, and then you swing through that same exact kind of place. Because a lot of people do have the muscle memory of coming over the top. So having this little kind of routine where you're kind of practicing the downswing of having it drop inside is a really good drill.
And for those of you that are just listening, not watching, when I see Justin do that drill, I'm seeing like both elbows are close in and you're just bringing that shaft right down. Is it parallel to the ground almost?
Yeah. The shaft's coming down on the inside of your hands. And then the right elbow coming into the right hip is a fantastic spot of where that connection will be to help the club come more from the inside.
It's, Justin, I'd say it's probably the biggest thing a student will come to you with? Like, I keep slicing the ball. I'd probably say.
Oh, yeah.
What 70%?
Oh, 70% of every day. You're like, yeah, I mean, I'm fixing slices all day long.
Yeah.
But the approach that I go with it is I approach fixing the slice first. So, and that's really with the club face. So whether that's closing the face or getting the grip a little bit stronger are the two easiest ways to close the face. But once you do that, if you're still coming over the top, you're now going to get penalized by hitting this really big pull hook to the left, which then will make you have to swing out more to the right because you don't want to keep missing left. But if you don't fix that face and you just work on trying to swing more inside out, what you end up doing is just hitting more of a block slice to the right. So you do have to kind of change both. You have to change the path, but you also have to change the face. And I've had a lot more success changing face first.
Yeah, I definitely noticed my path, it comes across my body. And a lot of people say, like, you got to get that club out in front of you, you know, and someone told me a good thing to think about is, like, imagine, because I used to be a softball player. So they said, imagine throwing a ball to first base, you know? So that's kind of helped me, but.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
So you mentioned that you wanted to start practicing again more regularly. Is that kind of your goal for 2023, or do you have something else in mind?
So my goal for 2023 is to be more like Tori.
Okay.
And practice, like really practice, because I feel like I get out there and I just play, or I'm planning events and, you know, then I get out there and I'm just playing and I'm not practicing. So I try to, like, not get so frustrated with myself because I know I'm not putting in the time to get better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better on the golf course, which is not what you really want to do, you know, because you're trying to fix things while you're playing. You want to have fun and play around.
Yeah. So do you have a good place to practice here in Arizona?
Not yet. I've
Not
been
yet.
kind of hopping around, checking everything out.
Okay.
We're really close to Phoenix Country Club. So I might start practicing there a little bit, but.
Okay. And just so you know, too, for anyone that's listening, if you're trying to find a place just to practice on a regular basis, if you know that there's a golf course that you really like the practice facilities, like here, I really like the facilities over at Camelback Golf Club. I believe most places will offer like a practice pass of some sort, whether you pay monthly or you pay, you know, maybe for 20 times or whatnot, you get like a punch card or even yearly. You can always go into the pro shop and ask, say, hey, do you have some sort of pass or anything where I can purchase and use your practice facilities on whatever time allotment they offer.
Yeah.
So that's a very common thing. And go to a place that you really like the facilities, you know, because then you'll go more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot like the gym. Like, it needs to be convenient.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yes.
remember, a half an hour is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Just like working out,
Yeah.
you know? So. All right. Well, let's get into it. So 5 things. You know what? Also, Alex,
Yes.
I want you to give yourself a little grace because you are building a monster of a business.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is helping so many women out there that it's okay if this is a busy season for you.
Yeah.
It's okay if it's more business than practice right now.
I purposely started the business because I wanted to golf more and have more women to golf with. And now I'm finding myself planning lots of events. So I'm trying to give myself some grace because it's really cool to see it all come together and all the women get out there. So
Yeah.
I do need to make some more time for golf, though. That's a goal.
Oh, Justin, going into the golf industry and not
Yes.
golfing as much. That
That's
sounds
exactly
familiar.
it. Yeah, absolutely. They say if you like playing golf, don't get in the golf business because you never really
No one
play.
told me that.
All right, 5 things every beginner golfer should know. So I'm thinking of the golfer that's, you know, thinking about starting in 2023. Maybe they even started this summer. They're just getting into it. But really, everything we're talking about today, most golfers can get a lot out of too. So
Absolutely.
we're specifically talking to the beginner golfer, but just know if you're not a beginner, there are some really insightful, non-conventional things that we're going to talk about today too. So first and foremost, I drill it in as much as possible. And that is number 1, it's all about the short game.
The short game. Absolutely.
Which is really not fancy. But I mean, if you want to talk about low hanging fruit and getting your scores lower and, you know, quicker and, you know, it's easier to practice, just go to the putting green, go to the chipping area, right?
Yes.
So,
but it's not the most fun. So I always say, nobody started playing golf because they like to putt and chip. They like to hit the driver far, and they like to take the big full swing, right? But not only working on your short game is really helpful because it obviously helps with the scoring, helping you score lower, but also just working on a chipping or pitching motion because it's a smaller motion. When you can really get that down and can hit a really crisp and consistent chip shot or pitch shot, just working on that motion, that actually ends up being your impact zone of your actual full swing. So having that being really crisp, and there's actually a lot of stuff that you do in a pitching motion that you want in your actual full swing. So it's not as glorious and it's not as fun because the ball doesn't go as far, but you're really kind of honing in the good fundamentals and the basics of what a good impact position should look like and feel like.
yeah. Tameka, have you been practicing your short game a little bit in 2022?
Yes, because I need to.
Yeah.
I lose all the strokes there.
Yeah.
Because long game is good. And then I 3, sometimes 4 putt. And then I'm like, really? But in 2020, we got a putting green put in the backyard. Ask me how often I use it. Not enough.
Yeah.
Not
I'm not
enough.
surprised, actually. Like, that's probably why I hesitate to get something like that in my backyard, because I just know, realistically, I'm not going to use it as much as I think I'm going to use it.
So, I know I need to practice it. I have more than I used to. Don't do like me and get a putter because it just matches the rest of the stuff in your bag. Like, that's another one.
I actually appreciate that, though.
I was that person. So now I'm trying to fix all the things that I did wrong with that putter. So,
and that's a great
it's a whole
point too, because you can actually get fit for a putter. A lot of people think you're just supposed to get whatever putter. There's fitters out there that actually fit for the putter, and getting the right style of putter for your putting stroke is fantastic, and also the correct length. It's actually an interesting thing. The reason why the average putter is actually 35 inches long, and the reason why is because it fits in your bag and it doesn't slide down. So that is why the average putter is 35 inches. So I heard a pro once say we should be fitting putters to golfers, not to golf bags. But that is the main reason why 35 inches.
What a tidbit that is.
It's a huge tidbit.
That's a bunch of bullshit, Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that, but that explains a lot because
Yeah.
I'm 5'1".
Right. So you should most likely
My
be
arms
having a
aren't-
shorter putter.
Right. My arms
Yeah.
aren't that long.
Exactly right.
So we'll see what happens now.
I actually went through a whole putting fitting this year, and it was so cool to see, like, how you hit the ball, and they gave me different heads to hit with, and they monitor like your putting stroke and all of that, and it was so interesting to learn.
Yeah.
So I was using a similar putter before, and then my bag got stolen, so they fit me for this new putter, and it is my favorite.
Okay, back up. How'd your bag get stolen? Because I always I'm leaving my bag at the bag drop.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know.
it's so easy for someone to steal this. So how'd it happen?
Do not leave your bag at the bag drop.
Is that how it happened?
Well, I was in Vegas golfing, and actually it was after my round. I left it right outside the clubhouse where the bag, where you put your bags. And I didn't realize, but there was a sign there that said, like, don't leave your golf clubs unattended. And I didn't even think about it. But we went in, had a few drinks, came back out, and my bag was gone.
Oh no! When
And
did
the
that
person
happen?
I was with, his bag was still there, and his was definitely more valuable than mine. But I think since mine was pink and cute,
And beautiful,
and so beautiful, it had my name on it, Babe's Golf logo on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this happened last December.
Yeah.
So I was devastated because I had gotten a used set of golf clubs, and I was piecing the set together. Like, I got like a 3-wood that I really liked. I got a 5-wood. I just got a brand new driver, and I was like, okay, the last thing I want is a new putter. So the bag, it took me about 4 years to put together, and I was so proud of it because it was like my set, you know. And so many memories too. You have so much stuff in your bag, and then it was just gone. So
What a horrible, what a stupid steal. Why would you steal a bag that has a name
on it?
Where are you going to use that?
I think it was my pig head cover. I don't know.
Well, I think we should put it out there right now. If you see anyone carrying around the Alex Andersen golf bag with Babe's Golf on it, that was stolen, people.
Yeah. We were on Craigslist and OfferUp. Like I had a search team out there,
God,
but
that's so silly.
it was sad. Don't leave your clubs unattended ever.
I was already paranoid about that. I'm the person that goes straight to the car, put it in the car because I'm like.
I actually met I was talking to a girl and she said she's had her golf club stolen out of her car twice. So I'm like, okay, they're not safe in there either.
Well, and in these colder conditions, you want to take them out anyways. You want to put them into the garage because they'll get so cold in your car that when you go golf with them, it takes a while for them to warm up.
Absolutely.
And trust me, hitting a cold golf club does not feel good. And it probably, the same as the ball, it probably will not go as far being hit off a freezing cold club, right?
I mean, same with the heat too, because your
the
club,
glue.
Yeah, the glue.
I know someone who hit and used to leave their clubs in their trunk in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then they hit the club and the whole club head just flew off with the ball.
Because the epoxy got loose. Yeah.
All right, next up. So again, short game, it's not that glamorous, but if you're just starting out, give it some time. You got to just give it a little bit time. Just think if you went from 3-4 putting most of the holes and you just went down to mostly 2 putts, that could be 5-6 strokes around. And that's a big deal, you know? So, okay, number 2 of what I had, most people aren't that good. So I think when you come into the sport of golf, you're thinking everyone's out there shooting par or, you know, they look like a PGA Tour player when in fact, we're all just not that good.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've sat at Papago, you know, eating lunch out there and I watched the first tee and I could verify the balls are not going far and they're going cockeyed.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one if you think that, you know, you are. So Justin, what's your take being in the golf industry this long?
Yeah, the game of golf is set up for failure right away, only just because they have something out there called par, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're supposed to shoot, right? Because, par. I should be on par. So, I mean, like, if I'm playing a par 4, I should get the ball in the hole in 4 strokes. But what that is that the only people that really make par on a regular basis are the expert players of the game, which is less than 2% of all golfers can actually make par on a regular basis. So it sounds like it's something that everybody does, but almost nobody does it consistently. So it's set up for failure. And even a bogey golfer, which means that you would average a bogey on every hole, is actually better than most. The average golfer usually cannot break 100 for 18 holes. So bogey golfer is 90, and that's better than the average golfer. So you could even be playing double bogey golf or maybe even triple bogey golf when you first get started, and you're kind of on par with where beginner golfers actually start start this game.
That's eye-opening. Tameka, when you first started, was that like something that you were like, wow, okay, with players?
Well, at first I did. I thought everybody was really good and I was really bad, and they would all be like, whoa, what's her problem, right? And then I remember going out with a friend who was newer than I was, and she was totally intimidated because we got paired with 2 men. And I was like, don't worry, just watch. And then after she watched, she goes, okay, I'm fine now. And you realize that you're right. Everybody's not good. They're just out there.
Yeah.
They're swinging, but that doesn't mean they're great.
Yeah. Correct. They're just not that good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and it's okay. Alex, how about you?
I mean, I'm so happy you're talking about this because this is the number one thing I hear in Babes Golf is when ladies hear about us, but they think we're all really good. And so they're intimidated. But the whole point of us starting Babes Golf is for women to have a place to go where they don't feel intimidated. And a lot of us are brand new golfers, you know, and it's the number one thing I hear is I'm not that good. So, I feel like once you put yourself out there and you get out there and you start looking around, you realize like, okay, like I fit in perfectly. Like, you know, people have good shots, people have bad shots. So,
and I think that's also a big surprise too. Once the beginners do like get out there and start playing with avid golfers, I think they're sometimes surprised on how bad the shots that the avid golfers actually hit. You know, So, I mean, I think even people have that experience when they play with me. They're like, oh my God, he's a teaching pro. Wait till every single one of his shots is amazing. And they are not. We definitely hit bad shots, and a lot of people are like, whoa, like, I think it's almost relieving to them when they watch me hit a bad shot. It's like, oh my God, it's like, even he hits bad shots, like, and he's a professional golfer. Like, I mean, it's, no matter at what level you are, there's some really, really bad golf to be played out there, even from the highest level.
Yeah. So for someone that might be goal oriented and likes the idea of quote unquote par and having a goal on each hole, what would you say to the person that's just starting out, or really this could be anyone, if they really do want a goal of what to shoot on a hole? Should they go out there and think of double bogey as being a par since if they're, or triple bogey, what do you think?
Yeah, I think starting off at triple bogey golf would be really good. You make a triple bogey on every hole, I'd have to do the math, but it's
a good start.
It's a great start. So you're making triple bogey on every single hole. That's a really good start. Then working on trying to become a double bogey golfer, then working on trying to become a bogey golfer.
You just change the mindset of what your par is instead of
right.
what the course par is.
And exactly right. And that's how Tiger Woods was actually brought up. His dad created his own par for him on all the holes when he was just growing up and playing, and that's what he went to go for. So making your own par, I think, is a fantastic way to shift the mindset. So when you make a triple bogey, it's not like, oh my God, I've shot 3 strokes more than what I was supposed to. No, you're right on par with where you're starting. So I think triple bogey is a great way to get started for sure.
Yeah. Okay, next, number 3, when in doubt, ask. And I said, ask about the rules, ask about etiquette, ask about the dress code at certain golf courses, ask where the range balls are, ask where the first tee is. These are all normal questions. And everyone around you, whether you're talking to your people in your foursome or the pro shop staff or the bag room staff, like, they will answer them. It's not, no question is dumb or stupid or that they haven't heard before. Like where the range ball's at. I literally didn't put the bucket underneath the range ball machine the other day and balls went flying. Okay. Now, if I had asked where the buckets were, it's just like they've seen it all. Yeah. Nothing surprises them. They've been asked every question. And just when in doubt, just ask. And especially about dress code, because a lot of women come into this sport and they feel intimidated about what they should wear, what's not allowed. Because let me tell you, when you go to a club and you're not following the dress code and you get called out for it, it could be very embarrassing.
Yeah.
It really can. So call ahead of time. Call the pro shop ahead of time. Say, hey, what's the dress code there? And even if they tell you what the dress code is and you had your outfit picked out, ask them specifically, okay, wait, are joggers allowed? Can I wear this jogger? They'll answer it for you, because you don't have to put yourself in that position when you get there of feeling apprehensive about it. So, Tameka, what
I like this one a lot.
You do? Okay, so what questions out there come to mind?
I was that person who was terrified of being embarrassed, wrong, and then I would say, look, I'm Black and a woman. I'm like an anomaly on the golf course. At least I felt that way. So I needed to know everything. And so I asked a million questions, like, where do you put the rake in the bunker? Why do you walk this way? How should you carry your towel? Like, I wanted to know everything. And I became a student of everything golf because I just needed to know to help my confidence level. So sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And then you run into the ball situation. Oh, there's a basket that you put under there.
There's a hook there for the basket.
Right. So you learn sometimes by mistake, but ask away. I don't think anyone is annoyed if you say, hey, I'm new to this. What do you do? Or why? I was that person. I asked a million questions.
Well, and how about at Desert Classic? That was your first real tournament, correct? So I'm sure there was maybe a rules situation or etiquette situation where you might have had to ask someone in your foursome, like, okay, what do I do? This ball's in a bush.
Let's just talk about basics. What is a flight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How is that done?
Well,
I didn't know.
My friend over here, Ashley, likes to call flights divisions. And I go, please don't call them that. They are flights. They are not divisions.
Yeah.
So that was new to you, though.
New. I kind of had an idea, but I didn't really know how it worked. And then I figured it out, and I had to ask some questions, and there was some really nice people at lunch who were like, okay, let's talk about this. And they were able to explain it. But yeah, like some of the basics, some of the people I was paired with on the first day, they weren't in our flight, so they weren't really competing against us. So they were overly nice and shared like cool tips, like, I don't know if you want to play that one. Why are y'all picking that one? You might want to play a different one. So I will say that was a good experience, but I'm sure that could be intimidating for people who are super competitive or in a place where you're like, should I ask? Is it appropriate? Yeah. Because I've had that experience too, where someone's like, what club is that? You know, what club are you using? Yeah. And then someone's like, my 150 club, and like walk away. Yeah. So I try not to be that person. I am the person who you can ask all the crazy questions. If you think they're crazy, I'm going to answer. Yeah. Yeah. So be that person on the golf course.
Absolutely.
Alex, what's your experience been like with asking just general questions, or maybe at the tournament?
In the beginning, I was very intimidated to ask questions. And now I look back and I wish I asked all the questions, because it took me about 2 years to really like understand the etiquette and everything. You know, I started learning just by playing with other people. And if I just like opened a rule book or read some things online or asked people, I would have learned a lot faster. Yeah. So that's one thing that like I try to be there for the new women that are coming in and answer whatever questions they have, because no questions are dumb. And I mean, I've even had a question. It was funny. It was that she thought the numbers on each ball, like 1 through 4, was the different size of the balls.
Okay.
So,
okay.
You know, like
Makes
there's
sense.
just so many different, I mean, people, I love that she wasn't afraid to ask that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, no, they're just, every sleeve has a different number. So, I mean, I wish I went back and, you know, asked questions in the beginning. And even when it comes to like when you're on the golf course, if you're not playing with people, you know, like if you want to play music and stuff, make sure you ask them, because everyone's a different type of golfer. And some people, just out of respect, you want to respect their game too, and make sure that everyone's having a good time. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because that is so common to say, hey, do you mind if I play music? Like, don't be embarrassed to say, no, I don't really like music. First of all, if you're being asked that, but also asking it to your fellow players in your foursomes, totally normal. Not a big deal at all. And, but that's why I push for women to join 9-hole leagues, 18-hole leagues, join events at Babes Golf as quickly as possible, because that's the environment you're going to be in, where you can ask all the questions you want. The women will be there to answer them. They want to be helpful. Yeah. The women want to be helpful, and they want you to learn. And if it wasn't for joining the ladies' leagues for me, I mean, it would have taken me twice as long to learn it all, because those are the women that taught me everything. It really wasn't the instructors. It was the women that I was playing with. Yeah.
You're learning when you're playing for sure. And that's another thing. Women are really intimidated, I've noticed, to get out there and play. They'll come to the range for like a full year and they're like, I'm not ready. And I'm like, you have to play. Like that's how you're going to learn. And it doesn't, we don't care like we don't care how bad you think you may be. It's all about like pace of play, picking up your ball. Like, we don't care. You can pick it up and just move it up with us. Like, we want you to learn though, you know, and
and be out there.
Be out there.
Well, that's a perfect segue into number 4, which is no one cares about your game. What's going on with your game? We just want you to keep up pace of play.
Absolutely.
So, Justin, let's dive into pace of play, because it's easier said than done.
Right.
Pace of play, because when you're just starting out, you can become frantic. Like, oh my God, I'm going sideways, I'm going left and right, I'm duffing the ball, it's not going anywhere, and I'm looking back and I see men with, you know, their bitch wings out, you know, with their hands on their waist. Sorry, Justin. Or women, I guess it could be women too, but, you know, you become frantic at times, and it doesn't matter really what level golfer you are. I mean, there have been times where I'm in the desert, I'm trying to take an unplayable, or I'm trying to look for my ball, and I look back and there's people right behind me, and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. So let's talk about pace of play.
Yeah, pace of play. I mean, it's the only way that you can be a detriment on somebody else. It's not how badly you play. It's more on how slowly you play. People can play really, really poorly and score really, really badly, but still play fast. And playing fast really just sometimes comes down to just being aware that there is such thing as pace of play. I do see a lot of beginner golfers, especially beginner ladies, that kind of get lost in conversation because socializing is part of the game, but then they just start socializing and then they forget that it's their turn and not being aware of when it's their turn. So getting lost in conversation, I think, is one big thing that people do that ends up making them play slowly. I think another big tip too is that a lot of people are always looking behind them to see whether they're slow or not. It's really looking in front of you whether tells you whether you're slow or not. If you can see the group in front of you, you have every right in the world to take your time and finish out your hole, no matter how many bitch wings you see or whatever behind you.
That is a technical term, by the way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I see it on a daily. Yeah. So, I mean, being able to keep up with the group in front of you, if you can see the group in front of you, you are playing just as fine. And more particularly, if you just came up to, particularly, I always think of like a par 3. Sometimes you come up to a par 3 and you'll wait a while for the group in front. And then they finally clear the green. Then you hit your shot up there. You go up there to putt, and then the group behind you shows up, and you're like, oh my God, I have to finish. No, you just waited 5 minutes on the tee box waiting for this group to finish. You are clearly keeping up with the group in front of you. Play your normal rate right there, and then move on to the next hole. So looking in front of you, not behind you when it comes to pace of play is the important thing to think about.
Yeah. And that actually made me think of Papago, number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. There's always a bottleneck there. Always between 3 and 4. Usually every course, and Justin, correct me if you're wrong, there's usually some spot on the course that bottlenecks.
For sure.
You know, at Arizona Country Club, it's probably 10 and 11, you know, where all the water is. So know that, if you play a course regularly, know that there's going to be times where it does slow down significantly, but then usually after that spot, it opens up again.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So Tameka, what do you think about pace of play? When you first started playing, I'm sure pace of play was a trigger word.
Yes. And it was anxiety.
Yeah.
So I think for new golfers, it's that fear that, I'm not going fast enough. People that I'm playing with are going to be frustrated. I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective. I feel like we were kind of like trained to hurry up.
Yeah.
Because men often we were like, we don't want to be paired with you. You're slow. And so I naturally am a hustler on the golf course. Like I used to almost was running to my ball or to the next shot out of fear that I was slow. And then I realized just what you just said. Wait, the people in front of us are right there. We can't go anywhere. And it helped with my anxiety. Another tip I would add that helped when I was first starting out I didn't go out in the morning when I knew the really, really good players were going to be out. And
who are really not that good, by the way.
Well, in my head, that's when the good players play.
Or the more players are playing
right.
too.
So it's more a pressure. So I would go out in the afternoons when it was less people on the course so that if I was a little slower, it wasn't as stressful. But I had to consciously talk to myself to say, don't rush, stop. It's okay that they're back there. Yeah. Because just having them back there was a mental anxiety, hurry, hurry, hurry. And now I play so much better when I play faster that I have to now consciously struggle to not be the person that's come on, let's go. Because
I can relate to that.
So I got all these crazy antics. I have to chew gum. I have to do all kinds of things to keep me focused that,
We're a special breed, golfers. We are a special breed.
I have one friend who likes to sit in the cart. I'm I keep giving her the eye, get out, get ready, because I'm that person now. And so I try to think back to when I wasn't that person.
Yeah.
But it is a whole thing. And I think women feel it a little more on the golf course at first.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex, do a lot of your students, your participants at Babes Golf, I'm sure that's a big part of what you talk to them about. And
that's usually number one. So we always, before our event, send out an email to all the ladies, and we like to tell them this is the dress code. Pace of play is number one. You guys can still have fun, but we need to make sure that, our pace of play, we don't want to be those people, especially representing for Babes Golf. We want to make sure that we show everyone that we know how to play the game. And if we don't, we want to make sure that we're respecting the people that are around us and their game. So pace of play is always number one for us. And I think like you were saying, it's really intimidating because you don't want to be the slow one. And then a lot of times, like people that are newer golfers, they don't want to do anything wrong. Or maybe they don't want to play the game wrong or whatever. And so I think a lot of times too, they're afraid to like, can I move my ball? Can I pick up my ball? Like, what can I do? And it's like, if you're new in the game and you're out there playing, like you should be having fun first of all. And just, if you feel like you're behind, like if you're playing with someone that's a little better and they're in front of you, like don't feel scared to pick up your ball and move your ball up to them, like take your time. Like it's your game too, enjoy it. But also, I know that pace of play can be intimidating to a lot of people.
And that actually brings us right to number 5, which I had down as just pick up.
Just pick it up.
Just pick it up.
Yep.
Just pick it up, Justin.
Absolutely.
Pick it up.
Just pick it up. One other thing about just picking up too is just that, people are so afraid just to make the mistake, but like no one's been banned from the game from making the mistake once, So like even if you dress poorly, not correctly, you made that mistake so that you can learn to not do it the next time. Being open to change and being open to learning and being open to making mistakes. No, like it's going to be fine. And yeah, you're right. If you're playing slow, you can always just pick up the ball and move to the next one. I think a good rule of thumb usually is double par. So once you've hit your double par shot, you pick it up. That's your score for that hole, and then just move on. So on a par 3, the maximum score you can make is 6. On a par 4, your maximum score is an 8, and on a par 5, maximum score is 10. So once you've hit that 10th shot, pick it up no matter where you are and move on to the next
Well, and that's
hole.
one of the points I wanted to make too, because a lot of us do like to keep score. So we feel like if I pick it up, I can't keep score, or the round won't be postable even. Here's the thing: if you want to keep score, and you're in a situation where you want to pick it up or X out a hole, whatever. It's actually, you can still post a score to Jen before you have your handicap. This is if you don't have your handicap index yet. Like say you just started out, you're trying to get your first couple rounds in. Your max is par plus 5. Okay, so you can still, if you're in that beginning stage of establishing your handicap index, which I suggest you start doing as soon as possible. You can pick up a ball still, and your score is par plus 5. You put it down, and that's included in your posted score. So, and then once you get your established handicap, there are maximum scores for each handicap, and we'll get into that into another episode. But just know, picking up, on a hole is totally fine, and you can continue to keep score. It's not a big deal. Because that's part of it, keeping score and seeing your progress and seeing how you're doing. I get it. You want to do that, especially even in the beginning. But especially if you're in a bunker and you don't want to be in the bunker anymore, throw it out of the bunker. Okay. Yeah. If you're in the water or you're in the bush, just throw it out of the bush.
Yeah. The 5-finger wedge.
Yeah. It's
Hand
okay.
wedge.
Finger wedge. I haven't
It
heard
is
that one. That's good.
okay. And usually if you're behind in pace, all you have to do is kind of hurry up for one hole and you're going to be fine. Yeah. It's not something where you're hurrying up for multiple holes. No.
Yep.
Usually if you can just pick up your speed for one hole, you'll catch up. But Tameka, what do you got on picking up? Just pick up.
Yeah, it is. It's just pick up. I love the 5-finger wedge. I always call it hand wedge it. I'm like, hand wedge it. But I think that's why I'm bad at bunkers, because I used to just hand wedge it. Now I'm working on it. But no, it's so true. I play with a friend. I told her, like, once you hit 10 or 8, that's your number. Just stop so we can keep going. And she was actually relieved.
Yes.
That she did. It was more painful for her to keep having to hit it and
it's
add.
It's painful for every golfer. And it's relative to every golfer too. Like I was in a bush last week and I was playing a match. So I was able to really just pick up and concede the hole. This happened on a par 5 on number 2. And I was in a bush and I said, I'm done. I picked up my ball and I conceded it to my player. Like this happens at all levels, picking up the ball on certain holes. You get in so much trouble that you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's almost easier than making it worse.
Yeah.
Just pick it up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Exactly. Alex, what do you got on this?
Like I said, just pick it up. We like playing scramble, especially for beginner golfers. So I like pairing someone with someone that's been playing for a while, and that way they can kind of show them the ropes. But scramble with them. So just place your ball with the best ball, and that always makes it more fun. I feel like, because then you most likely are going to have a better lie, and it just makes the game a lot more fun when you're just starting out.
Absolutely. So we have a couple more minutes. I do want to get into this really special Babes Golf Before Golf event that we have planned for March in conjunction with Desert Classic. I want to get into that. But before we get into that, is there anything else? I know we all wrote our list, but I also knew that 5 things would take the entire podcast episode. So is there anything that, Tameka, you want to add in that you really want everyone to hear that's going to be starting golfing in 2023?
You are not a pro. You pay to play the sport. The sport doesn't pay you yet.
Yeah.
So
great.
laugh,
Yeah.
have fun. If you're not having fun, go to work.
Yeah.
You
Go
should
do
have
some
fun on the
laundry.
golf course.
Absolutely.
Alex, anything that you want to add into the beginner golfer that's just starting this year?
Yeah, if you're still hesitant and you're still trying to decide, time is passing.
Yeah.
And you know, the number one thing I hear all the time is, I wish I came sooner. I wish I started sooner, because once you do dive in, you realize like, okay, this is so much fun. And, I don't know why I see why everyone's intimidated, but once you get out there and you start meeting friends that are on the same or have the same skill level as you, you realize that you just wish you started sooner. So that's what I say to the new golfers. Just get out there and start playing, play 9 holes.
Yep. And get involved. Get involved. There is so many opportunities out there for beginner golfers, whether it's 9-hole leagues or Babes Golf events. There's other beginner clinics out there. Just put yourself out there, which could be extremely scary and uncomfortable. And you're going to be the new person and you might not know anyone. I mean, grab a buddy. Do it with a buddy. Yeah. But even if you show up alone, I promise you will be embraced. And at the end of it, you're going to say to yourself, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
And you'll have instant friends.
You really will. You're all
golf
in the same
community.
spot.
Yeah.
And we all started there.
Yep.
We all started there. I remember the first time I went to an 18-hole league. I mean, I was terrified. I was shaking the whole time. And I was the one keeping the group up. I think I hit it in the water, and then I hit it in the water again. And the hole probably took 10 more minutes than it should have. I was there too, and you take the next step. Take the next step, and all of a sudden you're a golfer. Holy shit.
That's great. That's great.
All right. So our Babes Golf Before Golf event that we are doing at Desert Classic, I am so excited about. This is actually something that we wanted to do last year, and we had it all planned out. And at the 11th hour, I called Alex and I said, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm getting into with Desert Classic. At the time, it was our first year doing it.
Yeah.
There's more things going on than I was anticipating. And I said, Justin, Alex, I just can't take it on right now. And so coming into Desert Classic this year, knowing what's coming, I said, I can do it this year. Let's do this. It's something I wanted to do. And it is going to be an opportunity for women that are just starting out, whether, brand new or 1 or 2 years. Let's say they're just not at that tournament level yet. They'll be able to come to Desert Classic and experience the energy of it.
It's so fun.
While getting a clinic. So Justin's going to be there. So it's really, this is, for Desert Classic purposes, it's going to happen Tuesday night. So March 7th, Tuesday, March 7th. But Alex has put together a whole package for multiple days in case someone's coming from out of town, or, there's a la carte options too. But Alex, why don't you go through the itinerary with everyone?
Yeah, so we definitely want to do the shopping night again. That was so much fun last year.
So for those of you who don't know, on Sunday, March 5th, so this is the Sunday before the tournament starts, before Desert Classic starts, we have a huge shopping night at Andaz Resort. It's outside, it's under the lights, there's food, there's music, but there's also at least 15 incredible vendors with amazing golf apparel. There's also not golf apparel stuff there, just regular stuff, but it's a great night to kind of kick off the event.
It's fun. You get to meet so many people from all like the different brands you followed and, golfers from all over. So it's so much fun to come to that. So that's Sunday night, shopping night. And then Monday, Babes Golf is planning just a fun golf outing. It won't be for a competition or anything. It's just going to be a good time, and
probably most likely a scramble format because it is 18 holes.
Yeah, we'll do 18 holes. It's going to be in Arizona and probably in Scottsdale, and it's just going to be for a good time. So like the ladies that are newer to golf and want to play, we'll do a scramble format. That way you can play with a team. And if you weren't able to get into Desert Classic, you can come play with Babes Golf. And then Tuesday we'll do our clinic.
Yeah, so Monday's going to be a great way to get out on the course, play, enjoy the Arizona weather. Because again, this is prime season in Arizona. So we're all freezing right now here in December. In March, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be hotter. It's going to be beautiful out. So on Tuesday, March 7th, Justin's going to come in. In the afternoon, we're going to have a 2-hour, at least probably a 2-hour clinic. You're going to go through putting, chipping, bunker shots, full swing. And we're going to have Natalie there too. And this is all going to be at Papago. So the tournament, Desert Classic, everything is at Papago. So you're going to see the women out there playing, but we have the whole range and practice facilities set aside for Babes Golf and B4 Golf to do the clinic. And then afterwards, we're going to transition into the night activities at Desert Classic, which this year I'm really excited about. We're going to have bingo, and we're also going to have karaoke. So Casey Campbell from Vox DJs, our in-house, our in-house DJ that you've seen on all the pictures and videos, he will be there hosting us for a game night, essentially, and, a delicious meal. So we're going to eat, we're going to dance, we're going to play bingo, we're going to do some karaoke. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I really want these golfers, the idea behind it was to bring in the beginner golfers so they can see like what's ahead. Like this is what golf is all about in our community. It's not just out there grinding 18 holes and practicing. It is about the community.
Yeah, so we had so much fun playing in the Desert Classic last year, and the whole time I just wished every single girl that I knew could be a part of it because it was so much fun, and the entertainment nights were so much fun. Yeah. So I'm excited that this gives everyone an opportunity to come and experience it in the way that they can, no matter what their skill is. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
So all the details on pricing and packages is in the show notes. Go ahead and click on that. We're going to open up registration on Monday, January 16th. This is limited to the first 50 players that sign up. So I urge you, if you're interested, make sure you're ready to go. Again, all the information is in the show notes. Justin, again, will be hosting us on Tuesday, March 7th. And you have such an incredible passion for beginner golfers that we're so lucky to have you there.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. You guys, thank you so much. As I anticipated, you made this episode effortless for me. And it really, really meant a lot to me, but more than you even know. So thank you for being here. Thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the details on today's show. If you haven't already, please give a 5-star written review on your favorite podcast platform, or even screenshot this episode and send it to your golf buddies. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the first tee in a couple days.